The premiere
Yeah,
episode.
episode. Okay. My first impression was that I think there was a lot of unnecessary crap in the beginning. And that's exactly what how I'm gonna put it. I
Oops.
was the Swedish girls, okay. I really didn't see the purpose for everything with that, with the getting there and changing rooms and the whole 9 yards of them being in the cages. I mean, things can be implied without having to drag it out. I thought it was kind of a waste of time.
Yeah, I kind of felt like he was taking advantage of the fact that he had 90 minutes
Yeah.
because it was a 90-minute premiere, and he thought, oh, I got 90 minutes. I can put in a whole bunch of extra shit.
Yeah, but it was shit. It was shit. I mean, okay, those girls were definitely stupid.
Yeah.
When Kathy Bates referred to them as Swedish meatballs, I was like, yeah, precisely. There's nothing upstairs. If I had gotten into that hotel the first thing I would have done was like got to the room and gone, okay, I'm out of here. I don't care about my deposit. I'm going to find someplace else, because it was just, I don't know, too long and dragged out. I mean, once you find a body or once there's something in the bed like that,
Once something crawls out of your
yeah,
mattress,
yeah. Why are you going to go to another room in a hotel?
yeah, because I would leave a hotel if a bed bug crawled out of my mattress, let
Yeah,
alone a crazy naked guy with,
yeah,
in
yeah,
desperate need of dental work.
yes, desperate. So I thought that whole thing was kind of stupid. I mean, I can understand introducing characters, but they're not going to actually be a character. I mean,
No,
they're,
what I think they were doing was introducing the hotel as a character. I
yeah,
think that may have been the intent because we got all these long shots of the hallways and the lobby and all the art deco and all the decoration, that's the very beginning part of that very opening scene. That's what I felt like they were doing, was introducing us to the hotel.
yeah. Well, they could have done that though too, and not you wasted so much space. I think they should have spent more time with the main characters that are going to be there.
Yeah,
Um,
because we didn't even get all the main characters yet.
no, we haven't. And I think it would have been more fun to go into Liz Taylor, a little bit more on Liz Taylor's background. Um, Kathy Bates, okay, we got a touch of how she and Matt Bomer ended up there. Donovan, I guess his name is if I remember.
But do we
And
know why? Do we know if she is trapped there or is she there voluntarily? Because
right,
we haven't
because
gotten that yet.
we don't know if she's dead or not.
Right.
And that's the whole premise: is anybody who dies at the hotel stays at the hotel.
Yes. It's
So
murder. It's like Murder House.
right, it's like Murder House. So I'm just, like I said, the Swedish girls, all right, now maybe the one that dies, maybe they're going to become something later instead of just being, as they used to refer to them, as blood bags, you
Yeah.
know, borrowing from another show. But I think that was a waste of a good, what was it, 15 minutes or so that
Yeah.
they
It was
spent
that.
exploring that.
Well, we had the cold open with
Yeah,
them before we
yeah,
even got to the opening credits, and
right,
then we went back to them. I would have been okay with that as a cold open,
right.
then the credits, and then you know them kaput somewhere and the story starting.
Right. I mean, it was just like I said, I think it's a waste. I think it was a waste because, just their reaction getting into the hotel and getting into the room, that would have been enough. That
Yeah,
would have been enough.
but I mean,
So,
they used those girls to introduce the thing out of the bed and that
yeah,
whole concept, the concept of 2:25 a.m.
yeah,
Something happens
yeah,
at 2:25
yeah,
a.m.
right.
and then introducing us to room
Room
64.
64, which everybody has
That's
something
the
to
big
do with
thing.
room 64.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the big thing is room 64.
right.
So,
So you want to know really what started all that with room 64, why room 64 is never rented, why people end up in that room, going forward. Now, once they introduced the police officer, I figured it out right away that one of those blonde children was his. That was pretty easy. I
yeah.
was like, oh, one of the kids is going to be his because he has one blonde already. There's, one of them before they even got into the story about
The whole
Holden
story.
disappearing. Yeah. So that was easy. Um,
Yeah, well, I kind of called Act 1 that whole cold thing plus all the Swedish Girls Act 1,
right.
where basically my big takeaway, my favorite takeaway was Iris.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. Well, she's pretty awesome.
Yeah,
That was just,
I'm already in love with Iris.
yeah.
And then Act 2, I kind of felt like was John Lowe. That's Wes Bentley. That's our
Right.
detective, John Lowe.
Yeah.
And introducing the, that Ten Commandments murder that he was at the new hotel, and then him letting us know that there's another one that's already happened a month or so ago.
Yeah.
And showing us the pictures, which was kind of a, kind of a precursor or a foreshadowing of what was to come.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I think I'm trying to think. Let me think. Act 2. Okay, introducing him. And Sarah Paulson. Oh, what's her name?
Sally.
Sally. Yeah, Sally.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got the Sally story set up quickly. I mean, figuring out how she got there, that whole thing, you figure she's a junkie and she ended up dying there before even Iris, pushed her out the window. You kind of have to figure that out. The thing that surprised me was the plastic, this season's version of the Rubber Man.
Kind of wet, moist.
Yeah, and the dildo that he's got. I mean, that strap on, boy, that thing came out and I was like, holy crap, how is that guy going to survive that?
He doesn't.
He doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't.
Which is what I said, the precursor. If I went back and listened close to John listening to those details of the first murder, and they talked about particles of gold metal in the rectum and the wound pattern. It was kind of like, that was like ding, ding, ding. As soon as I saw that, I was like, oh, this is the person or the whatever that is involved in these series of murders somehow.
Have you read any of I was reading one of the EW reviews afterwards, and they were talking about him being the symbolization for addiction.
Yeah, they called him Addiction Demon.
Yep. And so, it's figures that he is going to be involved with something with everybody. Now, how he's tied together with Gaga is the one thing I want to find out, because they've got to be tied together somehow.
Yeah. I mean, she's like the spider at the center of the whole web.
Yeah. Yeah. And, they were saying too, about her, I guess we're supposed to find out more in this next episode about her background as to why everything is so Art Deco and why she's caught in that kind of time period.
Yeah.
Where it's like the 20s or 30s, that whole genre, the artwork, everything else, the way she dresses and all. But I will have to say, I thought that was one of the best introductions for a character I've ever seen on any program like that. That her and Matty, that relationship was pretty.
With absolutely no words.
Right.
Except for the music playing over the top. It was all done like a silent movie, all done with looks and the face and all the emotion, and had to be here.
Yeah, it cracked me up to see it done at Cinespia, because
I know.
All my LA friends go there all the time, and I'm looking at Tommy going, yeah, that's where they show the movies, on the back of the mausoleum. And he's like, really? And I'm like, yeah, this really happens in real life all during the summer.
There's a whole hell of a lot more people.
Yeah, there's a lot more people. Yeah, and I'm sitting there going, where's Kelly and Scott? I thought that was pretty cool.
We skipped right over that, the whole rape. That was enough. Yeah, we skipped right over the whole rape, and that being Max Greenfield. That's why there was a whole bunch of people saying, that's Max Greenfield. That's Schmidt from The New Girl. People were freaking out. Let's see. And then that's where we also got the first little bit from Liz Taylor.
Yes.
Because Iris had Liz take John up to room 64 after he got the call from the killer saying, I've done it and I'm going to do it again. I'm at the Cortez in room 64. So we kind of got a little bit of Liz in the elevator, and her being this kind of, maybe empath as far as being able to sense what's going on with people, because she made the comment about, you've lost something, I can see it in your eyes, blah, blah, blah.
Right. I was so fixated on the Egyptian makeup. I'm going, okay, this is like Liz Taylor a la Cleopatra. So there's and with the way that he swished down the hallway with that very, that cape thing that he had on, yeah, the toga, almost like a toga, you're like, so he's lost in that time period. So something must have happened to him back during that time.
Which would have been the
early 60s.
Early 60s, yeah.
Early 60s. Cleopatra, I think, was 61 or something, because at that time, I remember them talking about the copious amounts of money they paid to make that flop. So I mean,
so I mean, that was 61. Yeah, that whole little thing was to get John Lowe into the Cortez and show us again 2:25 a.m. because he fell asleep on the bed with the whole clock fast forwarding to 2:25, and that's when he sees the little blonde boy and chases the little blonde boy
right down the hallway.
Yeah.
So, and Tommy kept saying, this hallway thing has been done so many times before.
Well, when I saw it, I was like, oh, it's the carpet from The Shining, and it's the hallway from The Shining.
I was waiting for red rum to turn up on a door somewhere, as an homage to Stephen King. But yeah, it's very familiar, and I hope he does something different with it other than
because long hallways and creepy children
been done so many times. Yeah, so many times. Yeah, Tommy says overdone. So peanut gallery commentary. Thank you.
Yeah.
But
so then we get into Act 3, and that's the why are we not having sex right now? That's the whole Gaga and Matty B and
I'm glad he's left the room right now.
Because when the music started and those those pieces, those flashes kept coming in, her and then him in the bath and then the standing up, and I'm thinking we could have him naked every week and I wouldn't be unhappy with it.
Oh God, yeah. I was like, holy shit. The one thing I saw that and I'm like, damn, Matty, I am willing. I'm going to go pull my hag clothes out and I will hag you forever. I was like, whoa.
Yeah. Well, and I love the fact that we didn't see their faces until they were walking side by side in the main lobby, right?
Yep, I think
because we only saw from the back, and we saw him helping her get the corset on, her snorting the coke, and him doing the little eyeliner and shining up the boot, and so and then that it was just like bam, there they are.
The thing is, I noticed too, is going back to 20s in the silent movies, the Toreador pants on him. Did you notice that it had the embroidery and everything? They were a little wider at the bottom, the boots and everything. Very Valentino.
Yeah.
Very Rudolph Valentino.
We're going to...
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, we're going to find out that the Countess Gaga controls this entire thing, and she surrounds herself with platinum-haired children and blonde-haired, dark-haired, blue-eyed men.
Yep, and that's why I'm saying it's I see a Valentino influence in it. I see that very dashing silent movie hero. Again, dark hair, slicked back. They all have that kind of little pompadour, very heavily slicked back hair look. The guy liner, of course, that they all did the dark eyeliner in the movies to make their eyes stand out in the black and white and show the expression. So, it was very, very evident that each man that's in there looks like that. So,
Well, and I said it's very silent movie-esque and music video, silent movie / music video is what I got from that. And then it was like, holy shit, Deadly Beauty and Sinespia. I mean, these are just my comments that as I'm writing.
Yeah.
And then showing the silent film, wasn't that Nosferatu? They were showing
Nosferatu. Mm-hmm.
And I thought, the same thing. The changing focus back and forth with the different scenes, I thought was, kind of cool. When he's kind of creeping and the shadows are coming and they're cutting to him and then focusing back on her, and it's like not subtle at all.
No, it wasn't subtle because you knew exactly what was going to happen.
Yeah.
But the thing is that you were excited to watch it happen too. You wanted to see that.
I've watched it 3 times now, and there are some scenes that I can fast forward through. I cannot fast forward through this this scene.
Full
I mean,
introduction section. No.
Yeah,
No,
just think it was so beautifully done, and so, I mean, so visual and so cinematic, and just, the first time I watched it, I sat on the edge of my seat, you know, and didn't really breathe too much.
Didn't we just like text back and forth to each other like, holy shit?
Yeah.
You know, what did I just see?
We did.
Wow. You know, and I could not believe when she turned around, you know, she ad-libbed a bit. Ryan gave her the ability to ad-lib. I mean, she came up with the line about the great jawline.
Yeah.
At the end and all. I couldn't believe that she did the V with the tongue.
Yeah.
I was like, unbelievable. You know, how many times did I see that in a lesbian bar? You know, it's like, I just was like, holy crap, they're letting her get away with that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
You know, so, I mean, that whole thing, I could have done without a lot of the other stuff. I think he could have done it in 60 minutes and not 90 minutes. You know, I think establishing them, they're the main characters. And to me, the other ones are important, but not as important as them. I'm interested. I am more interested in their story than anybody else's that's in that hotel. Anybody else's, you know?
Well, my concern is that since I'm such a big Matty B fan, my concern is that she's going to be, I mean, she is it this season. She is the main character that everything is going to orbit around. And part of me is worried that he's going to be this kind of secondary, you know, where she's going to look at this Will Drake who's come in and try to pull him in, and that might put Donovan down a peg. I don't know.
Happen. I can see that it's going to happen. There's going to be a jealousy factor between the two of them. You can already see that coming, and the kind of like that look that Matty gave to, you know, Wes when he came in. He was just like kind of like eyeing him like, okay, now this spells trouble. And,
well, I in my live blog, when I was live blogging it on the site, I made the comment that something about him being dead sexy or dead sexy beauty at night and bitchy queen in the daylight.
Yeah, and that's exactly what's going to happen.
You know, once they brought the light up at the end, it was like, but we skipped over my favorite line in this whole freaking thing is the combination of, it's not the getting ready, it's the cleanup, and her
the housekeeping.
Yeah.
Me too. That was so good. And it's Mayor Winningham is the maid, right? Mayor.
Yeah, the maid from hell.
Yeah, she's the maid from hell. Mayor Winningham, I have followed her. There was a soap opera that was on ABC. And this was back, oh my God, I was in my teens. And that's where she got her start. You know, so many of them got starts on soap operas back then. And
Matty did.
It was some Irish family, the something of something something. I can't remember what the name of it is, but I remember Mayor Winningham. And she was in love with some guy named Rory. Typical, you know, Irish name. And so I thought, I have watched her progress all these years, and she has become such a great character actress. You know, I'm so happy to see her in this. You know, I mean, her, Kathy Bates. I'm curious about Chloe Sevigny or however the hell you say her last name.
I've never been a fan of hers.
Yeah, and usually she plays a really oddball character. So I am not sure that she's going to be a straight person in this. I can't see that happening. I can't see her staying the doctor wife.
Yeah.
You know, because she always plays a weirdo. Because technically I think she is a weirdo in real life. You know, and that I've never been a fan of her acting. I think it's a little too not there. That's the best way I can put it. It's not there. Her acting is not there.
Yeah. When I actually wasn't upset when I saw who she was, because I felt like that's a very secondary character.
Yeah. Oh, it is a very secondary character unless they turn that around. You know,
well, they've separated the two of them. They've brought John into the hotel, which is the whole, everything, you know, is going to happen in this hotel. All the interesting stuff is going to happen in this hotel.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean
So
that she's going to end up in the hotel too, you know? And sometimes you wonder, okay, how did the child disappear? How did Holden disappear so rapidly off the
carousel.
carousel? Mm-hmm. So where does she get these children from? You know, so you wonder, you know, it's like, oh, okay, this one's a doctor. Is she a pediatrician?
Yeah, from the
I
sounds of
remember
it.
her talking about whooping cough,
Yeah.
you know, so you wonder if she doesn't supply children to her. You know, that's another avenue that it could be. Like I said, she's never played a really straight person that I've seen. There's always been some kind of quirk or kink in her personality. So we'll have to see what happens in the future with her. But like I said, it's like, you know, I'm not that big on her. Um, I do love Sarah Paulson. I think Sally will be interesting.
Yeah,
I
the
hope
next
they.
kind of the next interesting part that I got to was Iris and Iris with the Swedish girls again was kind of like, just,
Why? Why? Okay, so we're fattening them up with stuff that's going to make their blood taste good.
yeah,
You
and
know?
cleaning out the toxins because they were pill
Yeah.
poppers. But what
Yeah.
was interesting to me was the Sally Iris
Yeah.
interaction
The
there.
relationship. Well, yeah, you know, she pushed her out the window because she supplied an overdose to her son. You
Yeah,
know,
which
so
we don't know for sure. That was one thing I didn't think was clear is whether or not he died from that overdose or if Gaga intervened and stopped the death and actually turned him.
I would think she would have to, because once they're dead, you can't turn them. You know, that's common vampire lore, is once they're dead, they're dead. You know, you can't turn them. You have to get them just at the point of death.
Yeah. So yeah,
So
that's
it was
we.
close. Yeah.
But I know Ryan Murphy is saying it's not vampirism in the true, the normal sense of vampirism. It's more like a virus that gets passed along that stops their aging, but they can die.
Yeah.
They are mortal. They just stop
Right.
aging.
Okay.
So
So they kind of, well, they stop aging, but how long are they going to live for? He hasn't said that they're gotta, you know, that they're going to die. You know, it's
no,
like
but I think he said in something they can be killed.
they can be killed.
They
Okay.
can be
So they're
killed.
technically, you know, any vampire can be killed if the right thing comes along. So you're
Yeah.
immortal to a sense, you know. So yeah, it's the same thing. And like he said, he wasn't going to have them with the fangs either. That's
Right.
why they slit the throats and drink the blood there. So, you know, it's a little different take, you know. As long as they don't sparkle, I'm okay with it.
I don't know. Maddie could sparkle a little. I'd
Well,
be
yeah,
okay with a little glow.
yeah, but no, Matty Cullen, no, that doesn't
No.
happen. Matty Cullen doesn't happen
So
because
Iris got another good line. I got to go feed that thing in 33. I kind of love that as she was stalking out of the
yeah, yeah. But what's the
away
thing in
from
33? Curious to see what the thing in 33 is.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Now,
we got a little bit from John again. Finding another dead couple,
right,
and then that's when we got the flashback to 2010 and showing us Holden disappearing. So we know
right.
Holden's been gone for 4 years because I'm thinking this is supposed to be like in 2014.
Okay. Well, if it's 2010 and it says 4 years, then it would have to be
Well,
2014.
no, it said 2010. So I'm
Oh,
thinking this baby is taking place in 2014
right,
because they're talking about 20 years ago with Sally and Iris, and that flashback was to 1994.
right.
So
So 2014. Now, I'm trying to think. Now, the junkie ended up awake underneath the bed
yes, he did at
at the
225.
end at 2:25. Okay. So, and he's awake, but he's really dead. So, you know, that was the other thing I was wondering. I was like, okay, this guy just got reamed by a conical metal device. But when they showed the up shot, there was no blood anywhere.
Yeah, I know.
You know, that was a little weird. Okay. So if this thing was real, wouldn't you think something like that would have, like, there would be blood everywhere? That was kind of like weird to me. If it's not real, of course, and if he dies from the overdose, then there wouldn't be any blood. It would just be the symbolism. But if they're finding metallic fragments in people's rectums and colons, then he's got to be real, right? It's strange. It's a little bit of a conundrum.
Yeah, unless we have two different killers. I mean, unless the addiction demon is strictly in the hotel and strictly works with Sally as far as being a representation of the culmination of that kind of life. You end up fucked in the ass.
Yeah, pretty much.
And
pretty much.
That you're going to suffer that death. It's not going to be a fun death. You know, it's not going to be a pleasant, trippy, you know, drift off into the ether death in this hotel.
Right.
So I don't know.
Maybe there's
and then I think I think Evan Peters is going to be our killer. I think Mr. March is going to be our killer.
Yeah, yeah.
He's going to be our serial killer.
They've said that this time, you know, they said Evan usually is the
tortured
nice
ingenue.
Tortured. Yeah. And they said definitely he's going to be a bad guy in this one. So I think he is going to be the killer. He's got to be.
Everybody's a bad guy in this one, Jerry. We don't have a good guy yet.
Well, there has to be a good guy. There has to be you know, with the
John Lowe right now is supposed to be our good guy.
Yeah, but
you know,
he's got
his
demons.
Family.
Yeah,
so I don't know. And that's a lot of people's complaints is that we don't have relatable characters like we did with Murder House, where we could relate to that family and what that family was going through that got them to.
That's still my favorite. The first season is still my favorite. I think that we got just going off topic for a moment. I think with I got lost with the nunnery. You know, I kind of was like, that was okay. And I liked Coven. Coven. Coven was good. I liked characters in Coven, and that's what kept me coming back. You know, I liked Sarah Paulson's character, and I love Jessica Lange. No matter what, Jessica Lange is good in everything she does. I hope she has a cameo this season somewhere as something, somehow, because I would hate to see her not be in it.
Yeah.
Last year, Freak Show had a lot of possibilities, but I think it got away from itself. You know, I mean, it went from the clown. At first, you thought, okay, the clown's going to be the killer. Then it went, you know, to this one, and it bounced back and forth. It was good, but still, this first season is my favorite. I thought Dylan McDermott and Connie Britton were fabulous in that. I loved Rubber Man. The whole concept of him was good.
Mm-hmm.
The dead daughter still living in the house. I love that first. I could go back and watch the first season over and over again. And so I hope this season doesn't get lost in itself.
Yeah.
You know, like last year's did. And it has the possibility of doing that. I hope he doesn't bring in too many central characters into the hotel.
Yeah. Well, you know, we still have Evan Peters, Mr. March to come in. We still have Angela Bassett.
Yep.
I can't remember the name of her character.
Naomi Campbell is coming in next week.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she plays that model-esque, I think, person that comes into the hotel. So, I mean, I hope, like I said, it doesn't get lost in itself. I hope there is something there that's really cohesive and that we don't have too much going on, because then it'll screw the pooch. It really will.
Yeah, because, I mean, we met Will Drake and his son. So we've got them as the new owner of the hotel.
Yeah. Now the kid, you know, is going to end up in the game room with the other kids somehow.
Will he though? You know, he's not her type.
Yeah, he's not her type, but it's easy to dye hair blonde.
Yeah, but I don't know. We'll see. I keep wondering if he's just going to keep talking about playing with all these kids and nobody else is going to see these kids. And he's going to talk about this room with all the, you know, the video games and the candy and all this kind of stuff. And people are going to think he's, you know, a little on the nutso side.
Well, he seems a little aloof and strange as it is, you know. So I don't know. We'll see. Or maybe he'll be the one that she can't convert. You know?
I don't know. We'll see.
Well,
They put so much into this episode.
yeah.
I could have done with about half.
Yeah, definitely.
You know?
Like I said, I think going back to the beginning, I think that whole Swedish girl thing, unless one of those girls is going to survive and do something and become an integral part of this, I think that was a whole waste to set up just the fact that they take people in, they put them in cages, and they fatten them up to feed the vampires that are living in there. So I mean,
once you check in, you can never leave.
Right, and
it's the Hotel California.
California, right? Which is, we would have gotten that idea anyway from the premise of the story. You know, we're going to go into this hotel and you're not going to come out. If you do, you're not going to come out the same way you went back in. So yeah, I hope that, like I said, he condenses it and doesn't just let episodes drag on. You know, that was going back and reading a lot of people's commentary. A lot of people were like looking at it just going, what the fuck is going on with this place, you know? And other people were going, it's okay. So right now, you know, there's 50-50. Some people absolutely loved it, and other people were like, well, we'll wait and see. So
yeah, I've seen a lot of people say I'm going to give it one more episode.
Yeah, to see what happens.
So, but I mean, I'll probably be in it for the long haul.
Oh, I will too, because of Matt. You know, because
Yeah.
of Matt and Gaga, because I love both of them, and because I love Kathy Bates too. You know, and so I want to see how he progresses with it. But God's sakes, I don't want to be bored with it. You know, I don't want to come back here next week and go, oh, that episode. Well, let's see. I liked about 3 minutes of it, and then the rest of it was like filler. You know, I just don't want to see a lot of filler in it.
Yeah. Well, so I also hope that next week's episode isn't. I don't want half of it to be introduction of more new characters.
No.
You know, I know we're gonna see new people, but I want to know the stories of the people we've already met.
Right, and how these people are either involved in their story, or, you know, are going to enhance their story, but not necessarily. I don't need a whole background on Naomi Campbell's character. I personally don't like Naomi Campbell.
Yeah.
I never liked her when that whole supermodel thing was going on. I think she is a spoiled bitch who's past her prime now. Even though she's beautiful, I will say she's beautiful. But she was always one of those, like those rock stars that throw TVs out of windows and trash hotel rooms. That's the way Naomi Campbell always came across. So I was not excited to see her come in. I'm like, oh, geez, you know, why do we need her? Is she really an actress? You know, she did Duran Duran video. Wow. Or not Duran Duran, George Michael. So why are we using her? You know, I think Angela Bassett could have played that character much more effectively. But we'll see. You know, I'll just have to make judgment next week and see what happens.
Yeah. So we kind of ended. I kind of liked the way it ended because we got the Iris Donovan connection and the flashback to how he ended up in the hotel.
Right.
And that was kind of the whole Gaga as the spider, you know, perched over him, kind of drawing him and Iris into the hotel. And seeing that Sally is dead. I mean, that's the first actual character in this whole episode that we know for sure is dead.
Yeah.
Because we saw her die. And so we know her walking around.
Yeah, that last little crack when she, like, the mouth opened and the blood started coming out and you heard, like, crack. And I'm like, okay, yeah, she's dead.
Yeah.
Back's broken. She's dead. Skull's crushed. But yeah, that's, you know, I don't think Iris is dead. You know, and I think about
she's aging.
She's aging, yes. And
if you look at it, she's older. She looks older than she did in the 1994 flashback, and nobody else does.
Nope. And I think she is there just to keep an eye on her son.
Yeah.
You know, I think maybe she has an arrangement.
Maybe she made a deal. you
Yeah, that's what I
know?
was gonna say. Maybe she has an arrangement, you
She made a
know.
deal to not, not interfere with, the Countess doing whatever she was going to do as long as she could stay
Yeah, to stay in as long as they
and
kept
be with him.
Donovan alive,
Yeah.
too, you know. So I wish. Did Gaga have eyebrows in that spider scene? I want them to put eyebrows back on her because it's very tough looking at her face without
She has
eyebrows.
eyebrows. She had
Yeah,
them in that they were just bleach
yeah,
blonde. I mean, they were
yeah.
platinum. Well, she had on the glasses with the sunglasses with the
Right.
extra little thing. So I didn't pay that close of attention when she took them off. If she did, they were probably pencil thin because that would have been 1920s.
Yeah, Clara Bow. Yeah,
Yeah,
that style.
1920s, 1930s silent film era. The little penciled in eyebrows.
Yeah,
So
those platinum eyebrows are kind of like disconcerting. It reminds me of Jared Leto when he got rid of everything when he was playing oh, what's her name? The one he got the Oscar for. Ah, I'm having a blank in the
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Dallas
yeah,
Buyers Club.
Dallas Buyers Club. Yeah. Blah blah. Her name is right on the tip of my tongue because he did such a fabulous job with her. But that's the thing, I let them pencil her eyebrows in. The eyebrows are bothering me. That's my fashion statement right there. The eyebrows are bothering me. Her clothes, on the other hand, are magnificent. Oh my
Oh
God,
yeah.
that
Well, and
red
that veil was an Alexander McQueen veil.
yeah,
With when she
yeah,
came in with the pasties and the veil, they said
yep.
she came in with that veil, and it was one that Alexander McQueen had made for her.
Oh, certainly. And that whole red coat thing with oh, that was just walking down the hallway with him and the back that just stunning. The clothes are
Yeah, that's what
just
I
stunning.
said. They looked like runway. They looked like hot haute couture runway models.
They did. They did. We keep going back to that. Let's get back to the end of this.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's just
Well,
because
and that was the end here. I've got it's the Iris and Donovan. He's leaving, and
yeah.
she's saying, "I need to see you every day," and he's like, "It's time to let go." And that's when we got the flashback to 1994.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, Liz Taylor was at the desk.
Still.
Sally
Mm-hmm.
brought him in. We saw this kind of scroungy, scruffy Donovan with the
Right.
baseball cap, so supposedly much younger.
Right.
They go
Right.
to room 64. His
Yep.
mother follows him in, tries to bribe her way, has to go get more cash. And by the time she gets back with the cash, she gets up there, banging on the door. You know, Donovan's in La La Land. Sally's up, prancing around.
Right.
And we hear about the fact that,
Go ahead.
she, that they are, it's heroin. They're,
Mm-hmm. And she shares a needle with him too.
yeah.
I'm the cleanest person you know. I'm trying to figure out what that comment meant. There has to be something behind that comment because, no junkie is clean. So how could
Yeah.
she be the cleanest person he knows? That was a weird
Well,
statement.
unless,
Yeah,
she's aware of the people he runs with.
could be.
And compared to the people he runs with, she was the cleanest person he knew.
Yeah. And I'm wondering if she
So
didn't lure him into the hotel because he fit the Countess's mold.
I don't know. Maybe we'll find out. But she wasn't trapped in that hotel at that point.
She wasn't trapped in the hotel at that point, but she could have been servicing.
Yeah.
There could have been a
Tilt
relationship
your
there which was servicing. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
tilt your camera down.
Tilt my camera down. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm raising it up as it's going.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're looking up your nose.
It's clean.
Yeah.
I plucked it. But, I'm wondering if she wasn't allowed to stay in the hotel and utilize it to provide male companionship for Gaga too. That could have
Yeah.
been. That could have
Yeah.
been.
She could have been the pimp procurer of
Right, because most
fresh meat.
vampires do have them. A lot of them do have them. If you go
Sally
back into.
Sally is the Igor. I'm sorry,
Yep, yep.
not Igor.
Uh,
Renfield.
Renfield.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Sorry,
Sally is the
wrong
yeah,
monster.
that's okay. It gets confusing.
Yeah.
There's a lot of them in the universe. So Sally is the Renfield. Yes, Yes. Igor's on my mind because I'm looking forward to the Frankenstein movie.
Right.
So, yeah.
So at the end, we see that Iris kills Sally, and Sally is dead. No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
No ifs,
Sally
ands, or buts.
is dead.
Yep. Sally
and
is
then
dead.
that's when Hotel California starts to play.
Right. Which gives you that whole thing like you can never leave.
Yeah, so, and we just get these silent pictures and silent little vignettes of John packing up at his house, coming to the hotel. Why the hell? Well, I know why he chose the Hotel Cortez, because he'd gotten that tip. He's still working the case. So he checks in. He's in room 64.
Yeah, why did they check him into room 64? Nobody ever gets checked into that room.
Unless he requested it. You know, we don't see him talking. It could have been when he called to say, I'm coming, and this is the room I want.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
Either that or he called and said he's coming, and then the Countess wanted him put in room 64.
Yeah, we'll see, because it seems like everything kind of centers around room 64.
Yep, it does.
So,
it does. We'll have to find out the history of that room. Something major had to have happened in that room. So,
and it's like there is a vortex, a time vortex in that room.
Mm-hmm. Because of that clock.
The clock and the junkie with Sally the first, at the beginning of the thing, suddenly all of that mess was gone by the time John got to the room.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because housekeeping is just fabulous. I want to know how she I can clean blood out of anything,
Yeah.
Like blood, piss, shit. And I'm like, okay. I want to see how she cleans up that carpet where the other Swedish girl bit it. Yeah. Well,
and the last line we actually get, the last spoken line I think we get in the whole show is the Countess saying, your boy has a jawline for days.
Yeah.
I don't think we get another line of dialogue.
No, I don't think we did. And he does. And that was a great ad-lib. That was a great ad-lib from her. Yeah, it was perfect. Because, oh, your boy is beautiful. That's so standard. That's, hey, come on. It's obvious. Anybody looking at him, even as a junkie, would say he's beautiful.
Yeah.
So, it's lucky husband. He's got a his husband.
Yes, he does.
Yes. So, yeah.
So that is kind of our long, drawn out stream of consciousness discussion of American Horror Story Hotel premiere episode, but it was 90 minutes. Our vlog could be 90 minutes, and there was a lot. It was a lot. I don't know. I'll edit it down. I'll make sure we're under 90.
Oh, please do. Please do. Yeah, and comments about my husband in his underwear and everything.
Yeah.
So, yeah, on the whole, like I said, it was good. It was good.
There were parts I absolutely loved and would like to have just that particular little vignette out of it.
Yeah. And parts that I went, oh no, let's get rid of this. This should have been on the cutting room floor.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some parts. So we'll see. We'll see what next week holds.
Yep.
As far as that goes. And I guess maybe next week I'll be able to uncamouflage my face because it won't be early on a Sunday morning where I was too lazy to put makeup on or do my hair.
Yeah,
but I figured this was my homage. My homage. That's my favorite.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
So anyway, I guess that's it.
Yep.
How do we end this?
Well, we're gonna have to figure out a way to end it with a bang rather than a whimper from here on out.
Okay. Well, yeah, I am too old to flash anything, so not
no.
Tommy came running in here now. This old man came running in here. We go, somebody say bang. He's excited. Down, boy, down.
Yeah, maybe I'll go pick that little audio bite out, and that will be our ending from here on. Did somebody say bang?
Yeah, that's perfect.
So, all right, folks, we will see you next week. Stay tuned and let us know what you think. Bye.
Bye.